Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're talking about how you could play a song by One Direction called One Thing. And we're going to start out on a D major chord. And when we play D major, first finger is going to go to the G on the second fret, second finger goes to the high E on the second fret, the third finger goes to the B string on the third fret. And if you kind of strum just the D, G, B, and E, kind of the skinny four strings, that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And in the recording, it's almost like we do kind of two downs on the D major, and then we go to an A major chord. And the way you play A major, first finger is going to go to the D on the second fret, second finger on the G string on the second fret, third finger on the B string on the second fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And in the recording, it almost sounds like we do kind of a down up on the A major, and then go back to D major and do two more hits. And on those last two hits, you may want to do kind of a down and then a kill it, down, kill it, like with the right hand. So I'm taking my right hand and just kind of throwing it down on the strings to kill it. So you got D with down, down, A, down, up, down, D, down, down. So that in that intro part actually kind of comes back later on. Now there are a couple other ways that you could actually kind of strum through that actually, and we'll talk about this more like with the verse and the chorus. But one of my favorite strum patterns for a 4/4 like this is down, down, up, up, down, up. So on the D chord, if you just tried that, like you got down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, up. So another way to kind of work the intro would be doing kind of a down, down, up on the D, and then a down, down, up on the A, and then kind of do that whole strum pattern on the D major. So we just wanted to kick it off that way. You'd have D with a down, down, up, A, down, down, D, down, down, up, down, up. And then from there we'd be going into our verse part. And on our verse, we kind of do the D and the A major, and then back to D major. And then we do a D and then an A major, and then we go to a G major chord. When we play G major, first finger is going to go to the A string on the second fret, second finger is going to go to the low E string on the third fret, and the third finger is going to go to the high E string on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then we almost have that same kind of idea doing G major to A major, and then we go to a B minor chord. There's actually a couple different ways we could actually kind of play the B minor. The easiest way actually is to use something called B minor 7 in root position. And the way you play that, first finger goes to the A string on the second fret, second finger goes to the G string on the second fret, and the third finger goes to the high E string on the second fret. And if you strum the A string and the high E string, that sounds a B minor chord or the minor 7 chord. Another way is to do it as a bar chord. And the way you play B minor as a bar chord is you do first finger across the entire second fret, second finger on the B string on the third fret, third finger on the D string on the fourth fret, and the pinky on the G string on the fourth fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a B minor chord too. There's a couple other easier ways. A lot of times with bar chords, if you want to avoid them, you can take the skinny strings and kind of make a smaller version of the chord. So you could take first finger and go to the high E on the second fret, second finger on the B string on the third fret, and the third finger on the G string on the fourth fret, and kind of strum the top three or the top four strings, and that would be another way you could kind of work your B minor. Or, if you're a little bit more adventurous, you can kind of take the third finger and move into the D string on the fourth fret, and take the pinky and go to the G on the fourth fret, and that sounds a B minor chord too. So there's a couple different ways, and actually another way that might be kind of cool is to use something called a power chord for that chord. And the way you play a power chord is, power chords are called 5 chords because they're the root and the fifth of the chord. So on a B note, you're playing a B and an F sharp note because you got B, C, D, E, F sharp for a B note. So if you take first finger and go to the A string on the second fret, and take third finger and go to the D on the sixth fret, you could just strum just those two strings actually, and that would be called a B5 chord. Actually, the power chord idea could be applied to the other chords too, and actually just to go over those really quick. Like if you take that shape that you're on for the B5, if you slid that shape all the way up to 5th and 7th fret on the A string and the D string, so now I got first finger on the A fifth, third finger on the D string on the 7th fret, that would be called a D5 power chord. An A5 power chord that you could use for the A major would be if you dropped a string on that or go towards the ceiling in one string, where you take first finger and go to low E on the 5th and third finger on the A7, and that's called an A5 power chord. And then if you took that shape and kind of slid it back 2 frets to the low E string on the third, A string on the 5th, that would be called a G5 power chord. So on that intro even, you could kind of go D5, A5, D, and through the rest of the verse actually you could do that same thing, kind of following that form. But then from the B minor chord, because that's where we kind of jumped off, at the very, very end we kind of end up with a G major chord, and then we kind of go to an A major and then a D major chord. Now that rhythm from the beginning sort of gets carried over, so if you wanted to kind of use that through your verse, you'd have D with a down, down, A, down, up, down, D, down, down, D, down, down, A, if you wanted to kind of use the strum pattern though, that could be a cool thing to do, and then you'd have D with a down, down, up, A, down, down, D, down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, A, down, down, G, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, A, down, down, B minor, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, up, A, down, down, D on the, or D, down, 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 up. Now, another way you could kind of half the halving, like the D and the A actually that we start out with kind of in our intro, is you could do the down, down on the D and then kind of go to the A for the up, up, down. So if you're kind of digging on this, you could do D with the down, down, A on the up, down, D on the down, down, up, down, D on the down, down, A on the up, down, G, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, A on the up, down, B minor, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, A, down, down, D on the up, down, up. It's kind of anticipating a little bit of the D chord, and that could be a very cool thing. Or if you're digging the power chords, another way to do it is kind of do it as more kind of a punky, rocky way. And you could kind of get your right hand, kind of the flat of the right hand, to kind of lay down on top of the saddle to get kind of a muted quality out of the power chords. So if you dig on this might be kind of a cool way to do it. Is kind of doing 4 on D, 4 on A, and then doing 8 for kind of your whole measures. So we try that way. We'd have D, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, B, 5. And randomly, you could also play B5 as a 7th fret on the low E string power chord if you wanted to. The same notes, different place. So you could do first finger on the low E7, third finger on the A string on the 9. Actually, that might be a little bit better for that change. And then you go back to G5, A5, D5. And now you could kind of anticipate the A chord actually at the beginning too. You could kind of work it as kind of D, 2, 3, and then switch to A for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you'd be taking 8 and kind of splitting it into a 3, 5 thing. So if you tried it that way, you'd have D, 1, 2, 3, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, D, 1, 2, 3, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, G, 1, 2, 3, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, A, 1, 2, 3, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which might be kind of a cool way to do it. And then from there, we'll be going into our pre-chorus, and our pre-chorus starts on G, and then we go to D major, and then we go to a B minor chord, and then we go to an A major chord, and then we go to G major, and then we do a D major, and then we go to a B minor chord, and then we go to an A and kind of split it with the D major. And on that last A, D, you may want to try doing kind of a down, down, and hitting the D on the up, and just kind of letting it hang. So A, down, down, D on the up. But all the other chords get kind of our whole strum pattern. So we tried that with down, down, up, down, up. You'd have G with a down, down, up, down, D, down, down, up, down, B minor, down, down, up, down, A, down, 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 G, down, 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 D, down, 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 B minor, down, 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 A, down, down, D on the up. Now what really kind of happens in the recording though is you can almost kind of hear that return at the end of the pre-chorus, kind of doing the B minor with our opening rhythm, and the A, down, up, down, D. So you may want to kind of think about breaking from it and kind of going into that. And then from there we go into our chorus part, and our chorus does a lot of the halving stuff. So we could kind of work it. Oh, actually on the pre-chorus, you could do that as kind of your power chord idea too, and then you'd have 8 on everything except for that last A, D. So if we tried it that way, you'd have G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, D, B minor, B5, A5, G5, D5, B5, and then A, D. And you may want to let that hang too. So that would be another possibility, and another way to kind of work the pre-chorus. And then from there we go into our chorus part. And our chorus has a lot of quick changes. We're going from D to G to A to D to B minor to G to A to D, D, G, A, B minor. But then we go to G, and this is almost kind of like our little chorus tag is G major, and then A major, D major. So if we did our strum pattern through it, you could do down, down, up to kind of half a lot of those chords. And then you have D with a down, down, G, down, down, A, down, down, D, down, down, B minor, down, down, G, down, down, A, down, down, D, down, down, D, down, down, G, down, down, A, down, down, B minor. kind of do the anticipation thing where we kind of do the down, down on the first chord, up, up, down, up on the second chord. And then you have D with the down, down, G on the up, down, D on the down, down, D on the up, down, B minor on the down, down, D on the up, down, D on the down, down, D on the up, down, D on the down, down, D on the up, down, D on the down, down, B minor on the up, down, G down, down, up, down, B down, down, D on the up, down, B minor down, down, up, down, A down, down, D on the up, down, up. Or you could kind of work it as kind of the power chord idea, and you could do that as just 4 on each if you wanted to. You'd have D, 2, 3, 4, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, A, D, B minor, G, A, D, D, G, A, B, G, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, A, D, B, A, D. Or you could kind of try the anticipation thing with the 8 downs and do the 3 plus 5. And then you have D, 1, 2, 3, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, 1, 2, 3, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, B, 1, 2, 3, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, 1, 2, 3, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, B, 1, 2, 3, G, A, B, G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, A, 1, 2, 3, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, B, 5, A, 1, 2, 3, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then from there we'd be going into our intro part. And on our intro, actually, we're kind of going back to that D with kind of the 2 downs, A with down, up, down, D, down, down. But something else you may want to try and add to the song, though, is bass notes. And a lot of times this can be cool to simulate a bass player, especially if you're playing out solo. So a lot of times what I'll do with down, down, up, down, up is throw in a bass note for the chord on the first down. So on the D chord, you could do the D for the bass and then do your down, up, down, up. So D with the D bass, down, up, down, D with the D bass, down, up, down. What we're doing is we're playing the lowest note with the name of the chord. So on the D chord, you're playing a D note. And then on the A chord, you have the A string for your bass. If you wanted to kind of add some basses to what we're doing. And on the G chord, you have the low E string for your bass. And then on the B minors, you have the A string for your bass. A bass, down, up, down, up, or A bass, down, up, down, doing the bars. So we tried that through our intro. The weird part is how the D and A at the beginning kind of half. So you could do kind of a bass, down, up, and then do the D with the bass, down, up, down, up. Or you could do the D with kind of a bass, down, hit the A on the up, down, and then go back to the D for the whole pattern. So there's a couple different ways you could do it. So you'd have D with the D bass, down, A on the up, down, D with the D bass, down, up, down, up. Or you could do the D with the D bass, down, A with an A bass, down, D with the D bass, down, up, down, up. And then if we took that idea and applied it to our verse, we could do it as just kind of the bass down up on our halving chords. So then we have D with a D bass, down, A with an A bass, down, D with a D bass, down, up, down, D with a D bass, down, A with an A bass, down, G with a low E bass, down, down, G with a low E bass, down, A with an A bass, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, G with a low E bass, down, down, A with an A bass, down, D with a D bass, down, Or we could try the halving thing and kind of just do the bass down on the first chord, up, down, up on the second chord. And then we have D with a D bass, down, A on the up, down, D with a D bass, down, down, D with a D bass, down, A on the up, down, G with a low E bass, down, down, G with a low E bass, down, A on the up, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, G with a low E bass, down, down, A with an A bass, down, D on the up, down, And then from there we'd be going into our pre-chorus part. So we tried that bass idea through our pre-chorus. We have G with a low E bass, down, down, D with a D bass, down, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, A with an A bass, down, down, G with a low E bass, down, down, D with a D bass, down, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, A with an A bass, down, D with a D bass, down, or you could kind of split that A at the end with the D going bass, down, D on the up, down, to kind of get ready for the chorus. And then if we tried that idea through our chorus, we could do bass down up all the halving chords. And then we have D with a D bass, down, G with a low E bass, down, A with an A bass, down, D with a D bass, down, B minor with an A bass, down, G with a low E bass, down, A with an A bass, down, D with a D bass, down, D with a D bass, down, G with a low E bass, down, A with an A bass, down, B minor with an A bass, down, G with a low E bass, down, down, A with an A bass, down, D with a D bass, down. Randomly, that second chorus is a double chorus. So we tried it the second half through and kind of did it as kind of a bass down on the first chord, up, down, up on the second chord. Then we have D with a D bass, down, G on the up, down, A with an A bass, down, D on the up, down, B minor with an A bass, down, G on the up, down, A with an A bass, down, D on the up, down, D with a D bass, down, G on the up, down, A with an A bass, down, down, B minor, up, down, G with Louis bass, down, up, down, A with an A bass, down, D on the up, down, up. And at the very end we kind of have that B minor tag with B minor, down, up, down, A with an A bass, down, D on the up, down, up. Kind of digging on that. And then from there we go into our bridge part. And our bridge starts on G major, and then we go to a B minor chord, and then we go to an A major chord, and another A major chord. And you may want to think about just doing this part actually as kind of just downs on each chord. It just really feels like you're kind of slowing things down through the bridge. And we got a D and then an A at the very end, kind of on that tag. Or you could try it with just the down, down, up, down, and you have G down, down, up, down, B minor, down, down, up, down, B, down, down, up, down, B, down, down, up, down, G, down, down, up, down, B minor, down, 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 B, down, down, B, down, down, or we could try adding basses to that and have G with Louis bass, down, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, B with an A bass, down, down, B with an A bass, down, down, G with Louis bass, down, down, B minor with an A bass, down, down, D with a D bass, down, down, B with an A bass, down, down, and then from there we'd be going into kind of a bridge tag that's very, very similar to our chorus. So we could kind of take that bass idea and keep it going and just try bass down upon each one. We'd have D with the D bass, down, G with Louis bass, down, A with an A bass, down, B with the D bass, down, B minor with an A bass, down, G with Louis bass, down, A with an A bass, down, D with the D bass, down, or we could kind of split it, and then we have D with the D bass, down, G on the up, down, A with an A bass, down, B on the up, down, B minor with an A bass, down, G on the up, down, A with an A bass, down, D on the up, down, up. And then right after that we go back to our chorus part. We're going into our chorus part again, so we kept that bass idea going with the syncopation. We'd have D with the D bass, down, G on the up, down, A with an A bass, down, D on the up, down, B minor with an A bass, down, G on the up, down, A with an A bass, down, D on the up, down, D with the D bass, down, G on the down, A with an A bass, down, B minor on the down, G with Louis bass, down, down, A with an A bass, down, D on the down, and we ended up repeating that 3 times until we finally hit that B minor at the very end. And you may want to go back to that intro rhythm for that last B minor AD, that B minor, A, down, and I'm kind of digging on hitting the D a little bit early there, that down, A, up on the D. But that's the basics of how you can strum through one thing by One Direction. So good luck!